Okay.
So hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So guys, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Dheeraj Joshi, who has recently cleared the RBI Grade B Phase 2 examination. If I talk about him, so it's not his first attempt, it's his second attempt, okay, in which he has cleared this examination. So first of all, Dheeraj, congratulations from the whole EduTap family. So has the feeling sinked in now?
Yeah. Thank you for the congratulations. And yes, the feeling has definitely sinked in because a long time has been passed. At that time, it was not. It was very, you know, काफी हिला देने वाला experience कहते हैं. So it's like it's because I was literally shaking during the time I was checking the result. But now the feeling has definitely sinked in.
So, Dheeraj, my first thing to you will be that is you have given the RBI for the it's your second attempt in the RBI. So first thing is how RBI happens to you because you are from non-technical background. You were from basically you were doing BTech, and then how come RBI happened to you?
Yeah, in the final year of my engineering, I thought of preparing for the CAT examination finally.
Okay.
So after 2019, I graduated in 2019. So after that, I took a drop and prepared for CAT examination. I gave CAT 2019. I did not got very good. My percentile was not very up for the premium IIM colleges, but I got some colleges. But I did not want to do MBA from some B schools were not so good. And second point was that I did not want to do it online because in 2020 the mode was
Yeah.
all shifted to online. I got some B colleges, but that were not good. So then the SEBI notification came. I remember during that time. So
Okay.
I was not preparing for. I was not focused on regulatory examination until now. But when I got to know about the SEBI, then I dug up about the regulatory examination. Okay, how it is done, what is the role, how they function, what is the recruitment process. So I got interested. I gave SEBI, but unfortunately I wasn't able to clear the mains. I appeared mains, but I was not selected for it. Then I was preparing for simultaneously preparing for banking examinations too. And I broke up to the RBI. I was not prepared until for the phase two, and the changes took place in the RBI.
Yes.
It was changed from objective to subjective. So it's kind of become. I thought मेरे को लगा कि यार अब तो और difficult हो गया. तो अभी I just filled the form and I said okay, I will give the phase one. Let's see what happens. Because phase one was on the lines of banking examination prior to that year, because that
Yes.
year, last year, the phase one was very different. So I gave phase one and I gave examination because I was not come with any preconceived notions or had it how the examination is done. So I gave examination. Oh, it's a tough one. But at the center when I came out, I see the reaction to people are saying, "यार ऐसा नहीं आया, यार ये वाला part नहीं आया, ये नहीं आया." So I thought, okay, some changes, some has changed this year because I thought okay if it clear I thought I may not be able to clear the phase one. That's my general feeling. So I remember vividly that 13th March the result came of RBI phase one. I checked my roll number was there, and the phase two was in 1st April. So I did okay now 15 days around. So I prepared from your Aruda platform only. I remember some Anchit sir and I think another sir, ESI sir was there. Avinash sir, I think yes, I
Yes.
don't remember the name. Sorry. They told us, okay, in this is there. If you are preparing them, so focus on this topic, like for ESI in poverty or in the growth and development of it. So I did only those topics. So when I went to the examination, I wrote examination. I thought okay, and my marks, the cutoff was around 187, I remember, and I scored 184. So then I thought, okay, I can give it a shot because within 15 days if I score up to this, so if I give more time to preparation, then I can give it a shot. Then I, wholeheartedly started the preparation with banking examinations also. So in 2022, I was selected as SBI PO, and then I came and joined the bank, and simultaneously I gave examination also. And for the God's grace, I was able to crack the examinations too. So yeah, it was a journey.
So that's really, I think, बहुत ही interesting journey है आपकी, ठीक है ना? But
Yeah.
now the important thing is, as you're mentioning about SBA, so does SBA happen within your preparation or after the RBI examination over, then you join the SBA PO?
No. I took extension from the SBI because I thought if I'm going full heartedly for the RBI, I can take this 3 months. The SBI gave us 3 months, extension, so I took it. And the examination 25th June, I remember, if you remember, 25th June of phase two, and I joined the examination the bank on 1st August 2022. So I took the
Okay.
extension. Uh, that's all.
So I think
So I
this.
was as a non-working aspirant until the
So
examination.
that is what I wanted to ask, is that you are a working aspirant, but you have prepared as a non-working aspirant.
Yeah, yeah. I may qualify as a non-working aspirant only because after the examination, I joined the bank.
Okay. So Dheeraj, now let's come to the, as you're talking about the phase one examination, because last year you were saying that you had just given an examination for the sake of an examination, you have given the examination. But if I talk about this year's phase one examination, it's really tough. Again, I will not say it's an easy one, it's a really tough, and many students got hit from that session. So what was your approach towards when you were, because you have cleared last year, you are saying that you are just a mark short for getting into an got getting an interview call. Okay. So what was your strategy this year when you have started preparing for the RB examination, for this year's examination? So what was your basic strategy? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Dheeraj, I was
Okay.
asking that what was your strategy this year? Because you have given the examination previous year also. So what was your strategy this year when you started preparing for RBI?
For phase one, my strategy, because I've already told you, I've prepared about for the CAT examination also. I was preparing for some plus for banking examination also. So, in my personal opinion, the RBI phase one examination is same deadlines, but are not difficult. And you have to be open to changing your strategy while in the examination because you cannot go with the preconceived notion that okay, syllogism will be there, so I will go first for syllogism and I will do this. You have to be flexible, and to be more flexible during the examination, you have to give more marks. So my focus was, or my main thrust, only to give more and more marks, and to marks that are varied, and to change my strategy during the mocks. Okay, okay, if I am taking syllogism first, but if the syllogism, as I remember in the previous year, syllogism reversed, they asked the conclusions were given in the statement, you have to select the statement. But we are in habit of having statement and then get the conclusions. So you have to change the strategy while, because if you are habitual of doing the simple syllogism, if you have the reverse syllogism there, you would be stuck because you are attempting it because you think it's a weakest point, but it turns out to be not so profitable working in the examination. So my main thrust was in the mock. For the phase two, you first have to prepare. I personally did first cover all the static part and keep an eye for the current part. And descriptive answers, I personally used to make my handwritten notes. So it was beneficial for me because whatever I'm reading, if I'm making a I was studying about the poverty and the all the thing given in the course because there's a lot of material given. I would have especially for the RTAP course because I've taken RTAP course. A lot of material is given. You cannot personally was not able to cover all the things given in the course, but
Sorry.
I took seriously about the descriptive folder. When the folder was given descriptive part, I took it seriously. I read it. It was 60-page folder, and I make used to make notes. So for the 60-page folder, around about 4 or 5 page, I was used to write so that I could have a note. So because I believe by writing its memory, it gets imprinted in a memory. So while making notes, if you are writing answer later on, you will be remembering, okay, I have this point from the growth or I have this point poverty. For phase two, my focus was more on the descriptive part because objective you cover by static and current affairs. And one thing also I want to mention, people used to know if you are preparing while for these, be open to anywhere sources ever in the YouTube, but do not switch your sources or merge your sources because there's a lot of sources available. Stick to one course or stick to source and judiciously follow it. So it's not good at okay, just live session is happening there also, this live session is happening there in the YouTube also. You are wasting your time by repeating things again and again. And I in personally believe it is not beneficial. It is not the cost to profit benefit is not that much. If you stick to one course or stick to one educator, Have belief on him, have belief in yourself, because eventually it's you who have to, prepare and write according to your knowledge or your understanding of the topic. So that's how I prepared for the examination until phase two.
I think that's really a good
Yeah.
point that he has made, because generally I see a lot of students, they the one thing that the common mistake students generally do is कि वो काफी तरह sources की तरफ भाग जाते हैं instead of focusing on the
Hmm.
core thing. They started focusing on the sources. ठीक है, और वहां पे काफी time जो है it ends
Yeah.
up wasting our time. So that is a really great point that he has made.
Yes. Yes.
So now if I specifically talk about phase one examination, Dheeraj, because as you are mentioning that you have practiced a lot of mock practice is an important thing. But still, if I talk about quant and first, let's start with quant, reasoning, and English, because this year quant and reasoning is it's really getting tough and tough from the past 2 years. That I can assure. If you are so, were you practicing? Have you practiced all the topics of quants, or you have handpicked some topics? Ke, I will do these topics, which can help me in clearing this cutoff. So, what was your strategy on
Yeah.
that?
Handpicked, because during even the CAT preparation also, I was not very good at probability and Bayesian combinations. And I was good at arithmetic. I believe arithmetic is my strong point. So I practice arithmetic a lot. Always, in the mocks, even the mocks are that are the more. अगर आप मॉक्स में अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी को देख रहे हैं, आप देख रहे हैं क्वेश्चन की कौन सा मेरा स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट है, कौन सा नहीं है। अगर आप मॉक्स में इस पे फाइट कर रहे हैं कि यार मेरा ये क्वेश्चन छूट गया, मैं ये नहीं कर पाया, टॉपिक मुझे फिर से पढ़ना है, ठीक है, यू कैन प्रिपेयर इट फ्रॉम इफ यू आर हैव टाइम, लॉट ऑफ टाइम। For examination like RBI, where the every question from every topic is a bit not difficult. It is not that an easy question will land up there. If you have a 30 question in quant, you have to pick the questions, because I remember I did 11 questions in quant this year only, and I got 11 marks. So I believe that those 11 questions were right. But I scanned the whole paper, scanned the whole question. I wrote out the question. Okay, I will do this. I will do this. Okay, I will not touch this. I will not touch this. Same thing the reasoning also. And this quant level, I picked only arithmetic. My main focus was arithmetic, and some other topics like inequalities and other given. Okay, you can do it. But that's what I'm saying. You have to realize your own strong points. You cannot go at, okay, someone has said, okay, this is you should do. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos, do not follow it, but I've seen a lot of videos where people say, okay, quant में पहले आप ये करिए, फिर आप ये करिए, फिर आप ऐसे करिए. But I believe in paper like RBI, you cannot blindly follow a strategy. You have to adapt yourself according to the level of paper that is in front of you. Because if you blindly go for a strategy, it may turn into a blunder, because RBI has knows the difficulty. You may prepare it for inequalities or solution or any arithmetic equations, but it may turn out that they are given the matching or their questions are very tough. It's taking a lot of time, so you can end up in a blunder for you. So for this quant, I prepared in reasoning. I used to do puzzles. So a lot of people, I came upon a lot of YouTube videos where people say to know for puzzles are, I think puzzles are deal breaker. And fortunately, I was able to get the deal out of from them from me. Because if you are giving your time for puzzles and it turns up into wrong, or you end up getting stuck in 10 minutes, so it's a very difficult position to be in the examination. But if you practice a lot, it happened with me in a lot of mocks, because I give mocks and I am in 10 to 15 minutes into a puzzle, but I got stuck. I was not able to, get the answer from it. So that are for the mocks. You have to realize what your mistake is. So I personally believe puzzles form a strong point. A lot of people say puzzles are, are not very good, but I personally believe puzzles form a strong point. I was never able to, as in maths, in quant, there's a missing number, missing term, and the wrong. I was not able to do those questions. And I did not do this. Not in the mocks even. I used to try in the mock. I tried for some time. Okay, how the concept is there. I understand the concept, but during mocks, I was not able to do this. So I left it. I did not go blindly. Okay, I have to learn it. I have to learn it, because my strength was not there. I believed I found it. I was not good at it. So let us leave it. Let us found our strength in something other. If I have time with distance question, I will try it, because I believe, okay, I am doing. If I have a circular motion, if I have the other question, I would arithmetic question, I will try it, because I believe it is my strong point. I will not go to, okay, there is a question of missing term. I have to do it because everyone says the easy one, so it has to be done. No, because every question contains the same number of marks in quant. So use your time judicially for the quant. For reasoning and coding, I do puzzles. A lot of people do not say do puzzles, so I don't know how the others perceive as it's my strategy. But I do puzzles because I think if you get puzzles, you have 4 5 questions simultaneously and clear it. So it's a much profitable deal for me.
So I think that's a really great point he has made is because see the I am also of that opinion जैसे आपने बोला ना कि missing numbers मैंने नहीं किए मैंने puzzle solve की generally we see to the students से कि puzzles नहीं करते but I think that really great point that he has made here is that you have to pick up your strength guys. It's the best thing he's saying is it might be a possibility that yes missing numbers are easy. Syllogism is easy as compared to because puzzles में कई बार question solve नहीं होते. This might be a case there, but if you feel it from
Yeah.
yourself, feel within, if you have a confidence that I can solve the puzzles, they are my strong point. So you should go with your strong point. That's a really great point that he has made. Dheeraj, any book you want to recommend to students because you are mentioning about mock test. That's the one point that you are saying कि mock test तो आपको बहुत practice करना है. So what were the mock tests? Which mock tests you have given and what are the other sources that you will recommend to the students that they should go?
Mock test I given firstly from your EduTap. I was enrolled from the course, so I have all the mock tests there. I use some other sources also that are more popular for the banking. So people not look them at for the RBI, but mocks it's for the practice. So I gave it because I gave around for the phase one I gave around 30 to 40 mocks, a lot of mocks because I my preparation was only mocks. I gave mock. I used to analyze it. I see okay my strength. I believe if I'm lacking in puzzles, if I see I'm doing puzzles and I was not able to do this puzzle, okay, what's different in these puzzles that I have not encountered until yet? Because the pattern repeats itself. After 4 5 mocks or after 4 5 puzzles, you see, okay, this puzzle, if a two building, if a three building, they can change the variable. They cannot change the concept or the main basic puzzle. So I catch that and say, okay, how this different? How can I be able to crack it? What's the different in this puzzle that is not in the previous I have done? I also use other sources for mock, especially for phase one, only for phase one because I need more mocks, more and more practice. So that's why I use other sources. For book, I mentioned about for quant, I used to read about the Arun Sharma. Everyone knows about it, Arun Sharma book. Yeah. So I used to do it's for CAT preparation during CAT preparation. I used to do it. Difficulty 1 and until LOD 2 because LOD 3 there is a very high difficulty. It would be time wasting for you to trying for the RBI. It is not needed. So LOD 1, LOD 2, you can if you want to start from basic. It's a very good book for quant because it tells you how to approach a question or how to approach a concept by using percentage. So I for listening and other I do not use any book. I used to, as I told, I prepared for CAT. During I used to learn how to, I learned how to solve these questions because I from YouTube and other sources, not in a book. Then I gave mocks. I always relied on mocks. For me, for phase one, the preparation was only mocks. Not I also used to sit and study a topic. I used to give mocks and analyze it because analysis is very worthy. Because if you do your analysis early, if you see there's a puzzle and you see the question answer given there, if your method is different, do it by your method and then see what the answer or the method used by the platform. If it is okay, you got another strategy in your pocket, then you can use it. And if you get feel comfortable, you can do another mock. While giving mock, you can say, okay, I will do this by this way. So you got different types of solutions for a single puzzle, and you can use it for different puzzles also. That's why I prepared big box only for phase one.
So I think the one important thing he has shared here is practices of mock because जितने आप mock ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा practice करोगे and one great point guys that he has made here is that he is saying कि अगर आप mocks बहुत ज़्यादा कर रहे हो तो important thing here is after I think solving 5 to 8 mocks you get to get an idea that what are the type of questions you will see. The one point he has made here is variables generally change होंगे ठीक है but the I can say the performer or the basic dimension from which the puzzles are there, they will be the same here. So important thing is practice for quantum reasoning. Now come to the second important thing, which generally is a scoring subject in this year in the past year's examination is English and GA. If I talk about GA, I will say is a scoring subject, but because from the past years it's 25 minutes, there are statement based questions, the questions are getting tougher. So what about GA? how many months you have
GA,
prepared, and what was your strategy?
GA, uh, GA is very, from the last year also, I remembered I was in the mock, I was giving the examination. I was not able to even read the questions in 25 minutes. They were so lengthy. Even this year also, it was a, just the case because I scored around, I remember around 30 marks this year in the GA. So around 6 months. 6 months I read from all the sources, from your sources also, magazines I could get from the marathon series happening in the YouTube. I used to see them, not sometimes in last live, but not majorly live. You can 2x the speed and you can revise, and again. I used to read a newspaper regularly, so that also a plus point for me for GA. I think because it is changing the question. The questions are becoming tough and tough to GA, and they are becoming lengthy. So I do not believe that there is any short strategy for GA. You can only hope that the questions become easy, or hope that what you have read is coming there, because news is from every each and finding its place in the examination. You would might be seeing that, okay, I've seen that this news or this heading, a small column in the newspaper, it is there, and you have to now do the answer. So I cannot give a strategy for GA. It was more majorly, I believe it's a luck. What you have studied there. But 6 months is minimum, I think. 6 months you have to prepare 6 months. But it may come year after also that you don't know about the exam.
So thank you for appreciating first of all the marathon sessions, Dheeraj, because
Yeah,
it
of course,
it
of
it
course.
it
And, I want to add one point here. As sir always, I like that about the roadmap that Anjit sir comes up in a YouTube video and asks, okay, what do you want? Tell us what do you want? What marathon you want? Do you want marathon, or what do you mock test? And we write in the comment, okay, sir, we are we want this, we want this, we want this. There are different needs of the experiment, because while preparing you think, okay, I could cover from this source, I could cover from this source, but when during the at the crunch time, last minute, okay, I could revise all the things. So may it could be a platform there provide me. Okay, yeah, then Anshul sir pops up with a video. Okay, what do you want? Do you want something? And it is very good for the experience. It's relieving that, okay, someone is also thinking about, the educators also thinking about the examinees who are giving the examination. We are not only the people who are caught in this rat race, and they also know about what to offer and what to do. It's very marathon is very helpful, I must say. For finance, so I would talk about the phase two finance objective also, ESL objective also, and the RBI notifications or while preparing for the phase two. I relied majorly for the revision portion from the marathon. I do not. I made my notes, but it's more to or more easier to prepare from the YouTube videos or videos, marathon videos that are coming. You put on your headset and you revise it. Okay, yeah, I'm matching it with my notes if I'm prepared the notes or not. And same for the goes for the marathon session for the GA also. They are providing with the marathon sessions for us, and thank you very much for that. I must say, it helps in the preparation. The questions may come not come in the examination, but if you have prepared, it gives you a confidence in exam, because confidence is needed when you are especially for the GA, because if you are there tackling questions and you got a series of questions that you did not know, you got 5 and 6 questions, 10 questions you got in a series that you did not know, you're skipping. It also shakes your confidence for the further sections also. You may believe, okay, yaar, what I'm doing, 10 questions I've skipped, I did not do one answer, but I prepared, because it's only second section of the examination. So it may shake your confidence. But if you have got one question that you have read, okay, I have read that, okay, that is there, which is coming in the examination, is what I have read. So it's a belief you got yourself, okay, I have prepared, I am worthy of sitting. So it's very good, refreshing to have a marathon series in the last time of the examination, helpful for the candidates.
Thank you for that, Dheeraj. I am really blushing also because seeing this much. And I think one thing that you have mentioned about Anchit sir, because he is so much into the students that he always keeps asking the students that he has a tendency. वो students के बारे में हमेशा वो आपको YouTube पे कुछ ना कुछ he always has a tendency to ask to the students के what should I brought for you, that what are the things that you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
that we
exactly.
should be ready for that. So
Especially.
thanks for that also. ठीक है. Now, Dheeraj, if I talk about one thing that I want to ask you in the GA, as you have mentioned, because it is the thing that if you feel that there are 7 to 8 questions you have skipped and you could not answer the questions, it kind of build a pressure on your mind. Okay. But this year, from the past 2 years, there is a trend that we've witnessed. This is the statement based questions are there. Some questions are really, really tough. If I talk about the questions on DICGC, questions on Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, they were really tough questions and they were statement based questions. So, what was your approach? Have you attempted these questions, or you thought, okay, I will take a try at the end, and first of all, let me do all the questions and see how many questions I can attempt? So, what was your strategy on these kind of questions, especially statement based questions?
See, while going to the GA section, I did not left anything for the last because I believe time was very short for that. You cannot just, I mean, personally believe you cannot just jump back to see which question you are there. So, regarding the statement-based question, if I have the first thing is that by preparing, as you know, the pattern is there. The RBI is going deeper and deeper. It is not now only a one version there. So, if you are studying about a news, if there is a news about DICGC, everything about DICGC, what is components, how when it's made, who come under its insurance ambit, when the ambit was increased, how much is the increase, okay, what are the interest standards? Because I remember, I think the question was there, DSDC covers how much of percent of India, which is in international, in this examination or some other examinations. The whole, you, if you're studying about DSDC, you cover it all. So if you are studying about anything, cover it all. It's maybe in the news for a short thing. Maybe the head of the DSDC. If I'm giving an example, if the head of an organization is changed, you set up the organization also. Any recent activity it has taken undertaken. So if for the statement-based question, my approach was that if I have studied it, if I have noticed, do it there only. I cannot leave it for the coming second round because for me in GA there was no second round. You get the end and it was time out. So I did this only. I kept the sequence question which are not in this examination. If I know, I do it. If I do not know, I leave it. I do not fret over leaving it because you are not only one leaving it. There are a lot of students who are leaving it. Major portion is leaving it because RBI is getting so deep in GA. It's terrible. It's terrifying for the students to prepare.
See, I can understand this thing, because when the examination got over, I think I was doing an analysis, and I am seeing that majority of students were saying, "कि sir, GA बहुत difficult है, it was not doable." So that's how that's the thing that I asked you. Now we have talked about phase one examination. Now, if I talk about phase two, so this year phase two was also not. I can say it was not an icing on a cake. It was really, really difficult. First of all, if I talk about the paper one, that is the descriptive English, and if I talk about F&M, finance and management. So what was our strategy for the descriptive paper of finance and management?
Okay, so for FM, I relied only on the static portion. The global financial crisis was there. I studied the minimum topic as I believe was important. So GFC I believe was important. I studied about this management also. It was not in their course because, but I remember the last year the question was their basal. So I believe okay, the management is there, and I prepared. If you are studying about the static portion, you mix it with the current affairs also. So GFC, as GFC was the, I think in the finance was question there, and it also in the ESI, it was helpful in the ESI for me also because there was a question regarding the monetary policy, and I took a course from GFC. The monetary policy was formed in the response of GFC in the
Okay.
2016. It was also in the material provided me. So if anyone is prepared for ROTAP, I believe there's a lot of material for you. You just blindly follow. Do not go overboard because something going overboard, you may, if you are concentrating more on a single topic, it consumes more time. You will not be able to give time to other topics. But the material provided is enough. People can generally looking for the books. I have seen candidates who are preparing with also. Okay, they have taken a course. They are looking for the books also. I think if you have so much time, there is no much time for you reading the book also and material also. Stick with the material, stick your own answers. Mix the, for FM, I took the static portion also, current portion also. And I need to put the current portion into the static portion while writing the answer. Second thing I have to say about the you can quote the RBI notification if you have read about it. I deliberately read a lot of notification. They were not there in the objective portion, but in the subjective you can say, okay, if the question is there, you can put the what the RBI is doing. So if it is matching anything, maybe it's a risk in the management of banking supervision. You can put okay the and UABCs are also under the supervision by the RBI also. You can quote. So you have to while preparing for descriptive, in my opinion, you have to keep a broad horizon. As they say in UPSC, the answer may have to be multi-pronged. So the same goes here. You have to be multi-pronged while writing a descriptive answer. You have to cover all the. It may be cover the society, it may be cover the banks or maybe the institutions. You may cover the people or the regulator. You may cover the government. It may cover the international market. So you have to have a multi-pronged approach while answering the question in the FM, or it goes for the ASI also, the whole descriptive part. Preparing, I just select the static portion from the course, and the topics I find important, I believe important. I use the descriptive folder, the folder material given. It's more than enough for me, I believe. I read it. I made my own personal notes. Then I go for the the questions given after the folder material. I read. I saw this question. I answered them in my own way. Then I look up to the material, the answer given, and I see okay if there is some improvement do or some other point that the material has shown me that this point can be mentioned. So I noted there only. So while revising, if I'm revising, I'm preparing, while revising, I could see because this is the question, the answer I have written. Okay, and this is the point also, extra point that was not in my mind during the writing the answer, but the material has provided it. So it gives you a more broad horizon for answering. It opens up you for the many possibilities of writing the various points into the answer.
That's the point that I was just coming to it, because writing an answer is one thing, but evaluating the answer, because as you were mentioning, there was a model answer that is given here. Okay, so evaluation and answer is, I think, again becomes a very important task, because writing is one thing. अगर आप evaluate नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो I think then also it will not be helping to, it will not be helpful to the students also, because you will not be able to understand what are the mistakes that you're making, because descriptive is something new for the RBI aspirants. It has just been introduced a year back. So the students will be getting some time to at least have an idea of this descriptive answer writing. So if I talk about evaluation, so what was your thought on evaluation? Because when you are writing an answer, you have a model answer. So how you evaluate yourself? कि यहाँ पे मैं गलत था या यहाँ पे मुझे improvement करना है.
See, जब आप आंसर लिख रहे होते हैं, when you're writing an answer, always I did also used to have a clock because you have to not to give a lot of time to yourself. Initially, you get because initially, if you're totally new to the descriptive answer, give yourself time have to frame the answers. But during the last 2 months or last month, if you are writing descriptive, always have a clock by your side because the examination, the timing is also a great factor in examination. You cannot just ignore it. See, and second thing, if you are right, when you are an answer, आपको लगता है कि आप सही लिख रहे हो, आप बिल्कुल सही लिख रहे हो, आप लिखते रहो, you are doing. But when you see in the second look, you see, okay, it is look great. And for by just seeing the answer, you say, okay, the formation, the flow is not in there. The flow, as you believe, the flow is not in there. So if you want to know how the flow should be, the model answers is there. Go to the model answer, see there. Your points may be different. It may happen that you have mentioned something else and the model answer is mentioned something else. Do not just look over the points. You go, my points is matching, it is okay. Look how the model answer is has been structured. As the Anshit sir also, I remember, I have seen a lot of videos of Anshit sir talking about in the YouTube or descriptive answer. As he said that structure is important more than I believe structure and content is equally important. So if you have a lot of content, you have got a lot of current affairs, you have a lot of points, and you just habitually written it over, okay, I'm also doing this, also it is not getting a meaningful answer. If you are using a less content, if you have 2, 3 points, if you are using in a better way, if it comes naturally an answer, if you are writing an answer and you are saying, okay, so this has also been done by the government, so it adds to the answer. It's not just the point, it adds to the answer. So by model answer, you can see how the structure could be because you got a lot of material for data. Structure should be provided by the model answer. Look at it. Try to repeat it while writing another answer. Try to remember the structure. It is a habit. And eventually, I think you could get to a structure. 100%, you cannot be a 100% descriptive answer. But you could be at least to a level which you could be satisfied to yourself. And when you're looking into a model answer, you can see, okay, I have not done that. I'm at somewhat to this level because during the examination, it may go around, but you have to be satisfactory to your level also.
I think one very important point that he has made here is especially for the students who have a fear of descriptive answer writing. ठीक है कि जो लोग डर रहे हैं कि how should I proceed? I think the best important thing is guys write an answer, and the important thing as mentioned here is evaluate yourself, evaluate the structure, because he is saying that he is बहुत अच्छा point उन्होंने अभी बोला है कि आप when you read your answer for the second time on your own, you yourself will feel कि यार मैंने क्या लिखा है. ठीक है, you yourself will somehow get an
क्या
of
लिखा है,
feeling
of
what I have written, I have
course,
not
of
written a
course.
good answer. So it's better that the model answer, go to the model answers, evaluate the thing. I think evaluation is the key here. But and Dheeraj, is there any important topics for finance if I especially talk about F and M? Because generally for FM the students have, because ESI to we will come into that also because it has now gone hard wholly into the current affairs, but FM still
Hmm.
static plays a very important part. So do you feel that these are some important topics that students should not leave because when they are preparing? So any important topics for finance and management?
For the FM, the important topics, I believe financial institutions and risk management. The static for the static portion, I'm saying uh, self basic is also on the risk management. Uh, I could recall the topics. I honestly say I was not
Motivation,
recall the topic.
leadership. I think these are the topics like motivation, leadership.
Okay, FM. Oh, M.
Uh,
Of course. Yeah, they are just motivation, leadership, communication. They are organization where. Yeah, now I'm recalling. I'm recalling now. So for management, these topics should be or should be you have to read it because they are. I believe management is easy for understanding. I could not say about scoring, but for understanding it is easy. You have easier time to understand the management because you can relate it to other things you see. So leadership, motivation, and organizational changes, organizational structure, and ethics are also been added up in the part. So you have to primarily go to the ethics. And for finance, I'll say risk management or some of the topics I cannot recall. Uh, uh, as honestly, I cannot recall
yes.
topics because I have read finance a lot of time. I did not go by the topic wise. I just read it, and more focus was on the descriptive portion because I believe
Okay.
in the static portion, it is turning into more and more current affairs, even
Yeah.
into finance also. I remember the question answered about the application blog blank count ASB. So it was more of a current affair, not a static portion. So that's why I thought of the static portion. Sorry for that, guys.
No, no issue, no issue. I think that's again a great strategy because one thing I am just talking to him, I am kept off understanding because he is quite focused on what are the things that I have to work. I am not understanding the topics कौन से हैं. मुझे पता है मुझे आंसर लिखना है. My main focus is on answer answer descriptive answer लिखना है तो कोई issue नहीं. मुझे topic नहीं पता but I know what to write here. So that's really a great thing
Yeah,
while talking to you. Now coming to the second paper, that is paper two, that is ESI, economics and social. Is what about this year. First thing that from the past 2 years we are seeing here is, especially in the paper two, we are seeing is that ESI static is not carrying a is not carrying a weightage in the examination, especially in the phase two examination. And
no, no.
the important thing here is government schemes are playing a very important role. We have seen in the past examination, this year also, government schemes are dominating the paper two examination, especially the ESI examination. So what was your strategy on that paper?
Yeah, yes, sir. Objective. I recall giving the examination. First, I got the two numbered questions. They were all government schemes. So
Yeah.
we go through. I go through. Okay, एक नंबर में तो कुछ आराम होगा. एक नंबर में तो कुछ आएगा. But there was still government scheme till the end. So it was all 30 questions, government schemes, and yeah, government scheme has become a very important, prominent part of the ESI static has replaced the government schemes. And fortunately, I do not know. I prepared for a lot of government schemes from your YouTube videos, also from the ma'am YouTube and EduTap, also from wherever I used to, whenever there is a government scheme, I used to write the government scheme. I pause the video there. I go on to the other tab, search about the schemes. The Vikas Preparaion is there, PID is there. So I look about all. I wrote all the things about these government schemes, and then the PID I used to search the what recent development of the government scheme. The fund allocation change, the year changes. So for me, I read about 300 government schemes. I could not read all of them, but I read a 300 government scheme. I made a 2 or 3 reading. I made a big binder, thick binder of government schemes. I used to revise it. I was while preparing, I was going overboard. I was doing much more needed. But during the examination, I was thanking God, thank God I have done that because ESL static was all government scheme, nothing else.
Yes.
So, guys, if you are anyone prepared, anyone listening, government schemes are must to prepare and deep. It's not that only you have to read about the recent changes. Read about the formation year also, what was the allocation date also, what are the changes. Because there was a question I remember in one market about number of houses of 649,
Yes.
something like that. So they are going so deep. They are going so deep in the question making. So you have to get so deep. You have to go deeper than that if you want to score marks. So for me, ESA static, I was not very enthusiastic about ESA static because while I was preparing for A, I picked the topic. I just go to the fodder material first. First, I go to inflation, fodder material, poverty, fodder material, government growth and development, fodder material. I prepared for the fodder material, but I have a feeling that ESA static was not what I was asking, and was what the topic what the static was inflation, and I have read even in finance also, even there also changes fiscal policy is also there, but I have read it already in the finance also. There was a monetary policy there, so the static portion was very much troubling for me, and I did not give much of a thought. I gave thought for government schemes. I used to daily, 5, 10, 5, 10 government scheme daily. You can how much you can do, and then revise it also because you prepare a thick binder and not revise it, it will not stick with you. You have to revise it at least some point. If I remember that the scheme also that 64995
Yes.
something houses. I only remember the number of houses, and from it I was able to recall, and from that I can able to answer the question. And still I do not remember the scheme name, but I remember that number. But how I read and stick to that number. So if you are preparing for a government scheme, revision. Revision is must for government scheme. And it's a must for everything, but for government scheme, because so you will be confused with the number of year extended to which year extended, financial year
Mm.
26, financial year 24, financial 25. It may confuse you. And the ESA static, I believe you should give importance, but it is not turning much important now because it's a concept which you will also cover for the descriptive portion itself. Because if you know the concept about the use, but just usual status of unemployment, use the casual status of unemployment, then only you can write about the how the number of CMI is changing, how number of periodic force labor is there. What are the numbers mean? You have to know the static part to write the descriptive part to make your answer meaningful.
Coming to theory that you were asking, you were saying about government schemes. So we can understand that these are important, but what would you advise to the new aspirant who are just preparing for the RBI, that how many months of government schemes should they prepare, or what should be their approach? They should follow the ministry wise, they should follow the schemes, or they should follow the schemes जो news में आ रही हैं बस आपको पढ़नी है, or what should be the strategy for government schemes for an aspiring aspirant who is just starting for the examination?
See, from the for the new guys who are just starting, there are some schemes which are evergreen. Like Manrega is always will be in the news. Allocation is always in the news. And the ministries, important ministries, like Ritika ma'am has always given a video. He's given a video that okay, these ministries are important. So I did all that. I saw that ministry, the Ministry of Education, Child Development, Education, okay, Ministry of the various ministries are mentioned in the video. I wrote the ministry and I looked into the PIB. Okay, and some very prominent schemes will always be there. Pick those schemes. You wrote about it. What going on from there's a digital India going on, so it may be changes in there. So it may come in the news. So some prominent scheme, you write it with the ministries and you prepare it. If there is any changes coming into news, you wrote it there. Otherwise, PIB sessions are always going in various platforms. You can use PIB sessions. If you are reading a news scheme, and it may happen in a video or the educator is giving more information about a scheme, but you do not have to just stick to that. You have to do your own effort and you have to search about that scheme yourself, because when you give do yourself an effort, I believe it sticks with memory of more. Because if you are saying okay, this scheme is there, advertising is there, is a two-line news is there, but if you search about the other tab, you open the Wikipedia, PIB, you know about okay, this is there, this scheme is there, or ministry side is given information, it may stick with you. So give your own effort. Just do not stick to the educators who are, people tend to do that. Okay, sir, आपने ये पढ़ाया नहीं, sir, आपने ये नहीं बताया हमें. People do only more complain. Sir, आपने तो बताया नहीं, sir, ये scheme आ गई. But they have mentioned in video some at 2 lines there. ठीक है, so you have to do your own effort. Okay, ये scheme तो मैंने पढ़ी, you go there and see a scheme. I don't know what scheme. Okay, then search about it. Not just you're preparing, you have to be in active mode, not to be a passive mode and dependent solely on the educator or the platform because they will provide everything. They will provide, but you have to keep your ear, eye open, every sense open. See there is changes there. If you see new scheme and news and your educator is not, they may skip something, they may have to tell you about something. So if you read a newspaper or you are habit of newspaper, you see a scheme, search about it. If you do not know it, search for it. And I used to do what I used to do is during revision. Uh, if the scheme is there, if there is a newspaper, and I was not able to recall what the scheme is, so I revised it to my mind. So you have to be in more active mode during your preparation than to be passive mode.
Now, along with the government schemes, he has, I think, for the new aspirants who are starting, he has very elaboratively explained about the government schemes, that what should be your approach. Now, coming to this year, there was a surprise, which we can say there were two questions from ESI Current Affairs, which was one was on Raisina Dialogue, other was on India-Australia Economic Trade Agreement, and the bouncer to that was the Human Capital Index, the report that has been asked, which was released 2 years back. So, मतलब तो I can see this year's examination के पहले government schemes, case study based बहुत मुश्किल, then they come on to the reports and then they come to current affairs. So what was your strategy? Because government schemes, as you say, you have holistically prepared government schemes, so you must be confident about government schemes. But coming to the questions like this, that this question on Rice in a Dialogue is there, if questions on the Human Capital Index was there, which was released way back. So what was your approach towards these kind of questions that were there in the examination?
See, for the Raisina Hill dialogues and the trade fight between India and Australia, I used to regularly read the newspaper. So I was lucky enough. So I read it holistically. Various articles were there about the trade fights. Various news cuttings were available for me about the Raisina dialogue, how the German UA investor come here and talked about it. So I was reading news regularly. So I was in touch. So it was not a very difficult question for me personally because I say, okay, Raisina Hill dialogue, I read about it. I can do the question. So I have not read that deep how the question, second question was there, the second, the Berlin and the, I have not that, but okay, out of three, I can attempt two questions. So it's a good approach, I see. Okay. For this, also for the trade pact between India and Australia, the how many items for the question was how many items were in the top. I have not read about it, but okay, out of three, I could do one only, or I could do two, one. So it's okay. It is not that I have completely left the question. So if you are reading newspaper, you newspaper first of all, I believe, because it gives you it's helping you descriptive because you know how the flow of the article or an editorial goes, how to write an answer, you have to get the flow. Second, you got to learn it helpful for your English passages there. You could be helpful in the page one in English also, and how to write a essay or how to write to essay you could go there. And third, you got a lot of information from there. You have sometimes some things missed from the YouTube video, something that were not important for educator to convey you, but you could get into the newspaper. So have a habit of reading newspaper also helps in various things. So these two questions were tackled by my newspaper head. And second thing about that human development report, I got really confused about it. It was I could recall. I could not say the report was. I left the question personally, but I was still thinking about it after cutting out the report. Yeah, what report they are talking about? Which report was there? So yeah, it was really a bouncer. It was really a bouncer. So, but for these, I must say for these type of reports or this, you could the prominent institutions like World Bank, IMF, and UNDP, UNEP, the prominent institutes did the reports. You should go their reports, go through their reports, and if their Indian ranking is there, you should know what about the previous ranking, how the country fared with respect to other countries. But questions are getting so deep; they are comparing with the other countries. You should know the top five. You should know the bottom five. You should know how India fared within the various parameters. What was the ranking? What was the score? Because in the human development you mentioned the score was also asked in the question. So it is not about the ranking only. The score was also important. So you have to go deep. That is the only mantra for the RBI for the GA, maybe phase one or maybe the objective. You have to go deep because the questions are asked are being asked so deep. You have to go deep.
So, Dheeraj, as you are mentioning that you were going through the newspapers on a daily basis, so what will be the sources that you will advise to the students if they are starting preparing? That what should be the sources they should work on while preparing for these kind of questions? Or
See,
if I talk about
I use one.
overall current affairs, overall phase to current affairs, so what should be the sources they should follow?
See, for the newspaper part, I personally read Indian Express because I was reading it way earlier for my RBI preparation. But some people used to, like the Live Mint or the financial news, but they are not much helpful for the current affairs preparation till phase two. They are good for the interview part because you got to know a lot of things. Because Live Mint is not much focused on the current affairs, or any business eat is not focused on the much current affairs that is going on in the political or the international scenario. So I use Indian Express, and that there is magazine available. There is various holistic magazine available in even in EduTap course on various videos. Always within a you have a three video coming about the PID session, three video coming about the week, the current affairs. So lot of material available. So, but I believe if you could make notes for very specific news, not much for every because you would be then making notes
Hmm.
all day. If you could make notes for very specific things, like if a new came, you just note it down and make a points about it. If a new index came, you note it down, make a point about it. So it helps you in revision because various indexes for this, like the leaves index is there, and various indexes are coming for the international level also, state also, and within that state level, they are having different rating for major small states, UN. So it's a lot to tie on the memory. Get down and write and make a note so that you can revise it properly during the last minutes. Because maybe that could come, maybe that the report come in the examination and you may be able to attempt only one question out of three. But it's still a one marks other more than or 2 marks more than the other candidates who have not done it so. So make your preparation strategy or make your current preparation strategy broad, but have some make some effort also and don't just rely on memory because I've seen candidates who just read through similar videos and I personally was not one of those bright students or bright candidates who can remember all the things. See, so I used to make notes. Know your strength. I must always say,
Yeah.
know your strength. If you know I can remember it, okay, well, good for you. If you know I can remember it, but you are going to peer pressure that, oh, notes कौन बनाता है यार, इसके notes कौन बनाता है. Do not go about the peer pressure. Just focus on what you can do, what you cannot. If you think that यार ये index में भूल जाऊंगा, I would not be able to remember the ranking or the other parameters. So why not you write it? It's a very good option for you. Write it and make some effort. Effort is needed. That is not you cannot get everything on a platter for the current affairs. People generally used to rely on marathons or rely on YouTube videos or just videos in the paid course, notes from the paid course. Yeah, okay, you can take out print out, remember, but if you make effort from yourself, I believe it will be more beneficial for you while remembering it.
I think one very great point that he has made here is you have to work on your strengths, because this is one point that students generally has, is because her every student might have his own strength. So it's not that कि किसी ने somebody has told you to focus on one thing and you started, instead of focusing on your strengths, you started focusing on something कि he has told कि he has just cleared the examination, so he might have told this thing, so you can
Hmm.
work on that thing. I think this is the point that
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
the important to understand is you have to work on this, and that's a really great point that he has made. Now we have talked about the examination. Now comes a very important thing, because paper one, paper two, now are the third one, that is the interview. So as you are from the
Yeah.
non-technical background, okay, because you are from the non, you were basically from the technical background, sorry, not non-technical, you were basically from the technical background. So when you were there in the interview, so how was your interview? So what was your strategy before the interview also? So have you given the mock interviews also when you were preparing for the interview, or you thought कि मैं newspapers पढ़ रहा हूँ तो I can go with that?
No, I read as a change. I started reading newspaper. I started for the interview portion. It is must you go to the RBI website because RBI website has a lot of information to prepare for the interview. RBI speeches, governor speeches, NPC member speeches, the various working papers that are coming out in the RBI. It's a lot of things you can learn from there. And it may help, it may not help in the interview, but it gives you confidence because I believe interview is all about confidence. No one is going there and giving all the answers. Or even sometimes it may happen that they were not able to answer the majority of things. but it's your body language and your positivity and your approach to question. That is what the interview panel is there to see. It's my personal belief. I'm not about this. Second, I prepared from, I started switching, I started reading the financial newspaper also, as I was reading the Express for the last time, long time. I started reading live for the financial news, and whenever there is a news, during my interview was in 22nd September. So before that, a lot of things happened. Rupee slide was there, various speeches were made by the governor, the interviews given by governor, even I remember 2 days before my interview was there on 20th or 19th. There was a speech given by governor for the fintech related. I read that speech. I watched that speech in the YouTube also, and I was able to quote in the interview. So I think that was it was give me a confidence. Okay, okay, I have said all this also, and it shows. I do not know how the panel perceived it, but for me, it was a confidence given. Because what the panel perceiving up to them, the marks are not out. I don't know how much I scored in the interview, but still it gives you a confidence. Okay, I am doing great because it's an interview about 10 to 15 minutes. If you got nervous there, you might not answer the question that you know the panel asks. Otherwise, panel was always cordial and their questions were general related to which department. They are just simple. They are not very much difficult questions. If you do not know the answer, you can say no. I was not able to answer two questions. I remember two questions. One from chairman and the last, and one from in between the panel asked me. But the body language, I was very much calm. I was not even hectic. And during for the preparation for interview, I gave mock examination from their tab also. Uh, the NABARD XGM and IXGM were there, and they guide me how to approach. They were saying the same thing that I'm saying, that you have to be calmer there. You prepare from the speeches, you prepare from the study from the speeches. You can quote it, you cannot quote it. It may end up with you whatever you get for the interview for the speeches. It may not. They will not ask you, but you feel confident when you step into the room. You feel confident. Okay, I have studied. I deserve to be there, and I can answer. So it's your body language. It would be more calmer, more positive, and more your intent towards answering the question would be more positive. So that's what I believe they are looking their interview, not the question or no answer what you are giving, because we have already gone through the two phases to know your
Yes.
knowledge skill or knowledge level. That was my approach for interview.
So I think the thing that he has mentioned is mock also, I think, gives you confidence also. Okay, the thing that you are saying, okay,
Yeah.
the sir, as the sir has mentioned the thing in the mock interview, okay, the important thing is to open up there and be in a confident mood, that will really help you in the interview.
Of course.
So Dheeraj, that was from my side. Anything you want to share to the aspirants? Because it was really nice talking to you because you were so open up. ठीक है जी, आपने एक एक पॉइंट बहुत ही प्यार से समझाया है टू द एवरी स्टूडेंट. ठीक है, दैट व्हाट शुड बी द थिंग. आई थिंक वन very important point during the whole while talking to him, one very important point he has made here is he works on his strength. He never lose. He never thought कि this is my strength, I should first of all let's keep aside because this is my strong point, इसमें तो मैं काम कर ही लूंगा, let's focus on my weak point. He said कि I will work on my weak point, but the things which are my strength, I have to make my strength more stronger so that कि मेरी strength में से कोई चीज गलत नहीं होनी चाहिए. So this is a really
Yeah,
great
exactly.
point that you have shared to the aspirants, and for the aspiring students this is a very great message that he has given. His work on your strengths, guys. Okay, आपकी strength पे work करना, because you know your strength. It's nobody who can find that what will be your strength. You yourself knows कि this is my strength and you have to work on that. Any other thing you want to share to the aspirants, Dheeraj? Any other thing? You are open for that.
Yeah, as I've already told you in the beginning before the interview recorded started, work on the, I personally believe if you could get some time, get out some, if you are a non-working aspirant, because for the working aspirant, time is very limited. For if non-working aspirant, and if you're preparing for the examination, whole day you are preparing and writing, get some physical activity. It's my personal opinion. Get some physical activity if you can, because it could be a relaxing thing for you. It could help you by sweating. Also, you could be get your mind off from the preparation mode. You are there, relax. And second, as I've already mentioned already in the interview itself, because there would be many verses coming because you should prepare this way, you should prepare way. Or you have not missed that marathon, you missed that marathon, you are not there, you should join this live marathon. Stick to a source, stick to your strength, work on it. do not go overboard because I can tell you about a scenario when the ESI section was open descriptive portion this examination. The first question was in the urbanization, the 15 mark urbanization, and I haven't read the urbanization chapter, not at all. So if you have not, because I know I have not read the urbanization, I do not get panic. But because I know I have read the other topics so well that if they are there, I will add. I just skip the question and I did the rest two questions. So that's what helps you if you work on your strength. But if you are working, if you are working just doing it, okay, I have covered it, but in the writing answer, if you have not worked it sure shot, it may fall, you may fall behind the limit, or maybe and one point also, I have seen a lot of candidates fretting about the word limit. It is nothing to fret about. 600 words, if you are just frantically writing the 600 words without any context, it will not make you a great descriptive answer. Content should be there, structure should be there. Word limit is to not to overcross. It is not just reach there. If a 400 word is there, answer is there. If you written 200 words or 230 or 250, okay. If you are confident about the content, your content and structure should be good. It is good that you have filled it. So do not fret about the word limit. While preparation, just there would be bad days and good days in the mocks. Just focus on your strategies, stick to your strengths, and it will be good for you.
So thank you, Dheeraj, for giving us your precious time also and for sharing your valuable feedbacks to the aspirants. So wishing you all the best for your future endeavors. TKG, wishing you all the best from the whole EduTap family
Thank
and
you.
as well as
Thank you.
from the viewers who will be watching this video. So wishing you all the best, Dheeraj.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
okay.
you. Okay.